Welcome to this next instalment in the LAC Motorsport series. This time we look back at Donnington Park Sprint Event from 1987, Part 1.
Saturday, April the 25th, 1987, and Donnington Park is a venue for Lancashire Automobile Club's annual sprint meeting. The second round of the Werecretan Edwards Catering Company Sprint Championship it attracted sponsorship from the Scottish Legal Life Assurance Society and the Howlett Group, as well as a large and varied entry. Donnington Park holds a very special place in the hearts and minds of British motorsport enthusiasts. Opened in 1931, it was the first mainland motor racing circuit, and in the 30s it echoed to the thunder of the mighty Mercedes and the all-conquering auto unions. Today, however, it echoes to a thunder of a more modern type, with even the noisiest of cars struggling to be heard over the scream of jets landing at East Midlands Airport just a short distance away. The cars were not using the full circuit today, as this is not permitted by RAC rules, but a shortened version incorporating Redgate Corner, Craner Curves, the Old Hairpin, McLean's and Coppice, and finishing under the Dunlop Bridge. First cars on the track were the special saloons up to 1300cc. This group was led by Alistair Fenwick in a Skoda Lola Cosworth. Alistair only needed one run to take him clear of second place man Fieldlead in a similar car. Both were well clear of third place man Melvin Breaks Maguiring. Class B was dominated by Bob Forth in a 2-litre Skoda Coupe. He also took the Edwards Award presented to the competitor who wins the class by the largest amount. In this case it was 5 seconds from the Escort RS of John Smith. The small class of up to 1600 modified sports cars was dominated by the Lotus 7 of Eric Humphreys, despite early morning overheating problems. Paul Nash and Father Arthur netted second and third places respectively in their Turner. Les Trafford's supercharged Rover-powered Simpart Scimitar romped away from the Jaguars in the over 1600 modified saloons class. The Cats of John Oxborough, Charlie Saunders and John Smith completed the top 4. The shared vision of Nick Bridge and Paul Gibson entered the competitive clubman's class. Nick emerging ahead of Paul with only just over a quarter of a second to spare. The central BMW Malik of Nick Whale took third place in this class. The up to 1600 sports car racing class produced another good battle. The Malik of Tony Brown finally emerging ahead of Bob Press PDA engine version. limited capacity sports races were also flying, especially Jim Robinson and Dave Grace, whose shared hard-powered mallet fired for honour, Jim holding sway by a third of a second. Workreed sponsor Dave Render appeared to be struggling in the Pilgrim MB3, but still qualified for the championship runoff. John Corbin's Jedi dominated the up to 500cc class, holding 4 seconds in hand over his co-driver Ian Blunt. The 1100cc single-seater class eventually fielded just 2 cars. The beautiful Argo JM14, driven by Anthony Lane, powered to victory by a couple of seconds from the ladies' leader sprint champion Caroline Ayres. Stuart Ridge was the only man capable of beating the 60-second barrier in the 1600cc single-seaters, and did it in impressive style with a magnificent couple of runs, seeing the Chevron B45 in the late 57 seconds bracket. Martin Brockhouse made a welcome return to the sprint scene with a March 782, showing all his old fire, to secure second from Mike Lane's Abbott's Packaging Pilbeam MP50. The Workreed round had shown that Richard Ames and the X-Ray Rowan Tolman would be a mighty force during 87, and Donington underlined the point. Richard opened well by destroying the circuit stars hopes and taking this upon his fastest time of day. His 54 seconds 10 run holding off a typically determined effort from Rodney Ailes' Chelston Motors Rolt. By just a third of a second, third fell to the potent Steel King Pilbeam DFL of Roy Lane, the car improving in leaps and bounds as the season progresses. The road car-based divisions completed the runs, John Cousin taking his midget to victory over Peter Tassam's Honda S800 in the section for standard cars up to 1300cc.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. For their kind sponsorship,
the 1600cc split produced a runaway victor, Michael Steele, whose Lotus 7 held over 9 seconds in hand over C. Jones's Peugeot 205 GTI.
who have enabled us to put on this event for you, and we're delighted to welcome to 127 along with the Morgan Plus 8, 116.55.
The mighty BMW 3-litre CSL of Jonathan Hooker was again to the fore, taking the spoils in the over 2-litre class by over a second. Martin Rainsley produced an even more emphatic performance in the next category, his Escort being over 4 seconds ahead of the pack, which was led by David Eversley's version. George Bethel in a Morgan Plus 8 and the Datsun 240Z Samurai of David Jarman enjoyed one of the closest tussles of the day in the penultimate class, the former holding on to capture the award by just 0.09 of a second. The first runs from the rally cars saw just 600ths of a second separating the first three, the shared Escort of Andrew and Chris Thompson just holding off Jeff Braycole's Audi Quattro. The Escort, however, was not to be seen again, and Braycole capitalised on the fact, finding over a second in his final run to ensure another class win. Prizes were presented at the end of the meeting to all class winners, with major prizes being awarded by the event sponsors.
311, a Fenwick 64.92. Class B, special saloons over 30.
Grateful to have two excellent sponsors today. The Howitt Printing Group, who are no strangers to motorsport in general and in particular to Donnington Park, but also to Scottish Legal Insurance, who are newcomers into motorsport. I think we have two directors and the company secretary here today with us, and I think it's perhaps the first time that they've been involved with a motorsporting event, and I hope and trust that they've enjoyed it so much that it won't be the last.
Gets the Scottish Legal Cup for the overall FTD, in addition to the one for the Best Workreed Championship.
There we go. You have to give give this one. You've done out of it.
Right, I'm sure I'd speak on behalf of all the competitors when I thank the organising club, the marshals and everybody else for a really super day. I think that considering this is the first time one of these sprints has been held here for a long time, it went very smoothly. Super day out. May it be repeated. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the entertainment for today. All that remains for me to do is to wish you a safe journey home. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch out for part 2 coming very soon.